Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we are also going to have a look at this, which is a bunch of stuff that you do not get in the Sisters of Battle box. This is beyond the box. This is the stuff that is going to show up early next year, so new models, all sorts of things. And I'm pretty sure this was kicked off by the fact that there was a picture of a crazy pulpit with heavy flames dangling off it that went round earlier today, and I held off making a video because I thought, the Warhammer Community team, there is a set pattern to this. A leaked image shows up, and within 24 hours, there's an article with a nice, glorious, high-resolution picture of whatever it is. And that's exactly what's happened, so I'm glad I waited. Also, helpfully, on this page, there is a nice little graphic here, because they expect the box to sell very, very quickly. I also expect the box to sell very quickly. I really hope they haven't, understocked or done the thing where it's what is it, false scarcity, where it's like, we could have made loads and been safe, but we made a few, and they all go out of stock immediately. Handy map there for when you need to be ready to click the button if you are going to grab said box. Probably definitely worth keeping an eye on that, frankly, and making sure that if you really do want it, you do get in quick, because God knows how many there are actually going to be. Hopefully, given it's a 2-week period for release, they will actually make the numbers required, but we don't know that. We don't know that. Based on previous experience, better to be safe than sorry if you really want it. So, as they say, the Sisters of Battle army set is only the beginning, designed to celebrate a whole new range of Adeptus Sororitas, and there'll be more Fanatical Warriors Unleashed in Multipart Plastic early next year, and there's a nice picture here of what's coming. And that mad contraption on the front there, that is the thing that was doing the rounds earlier. And that's what I was waiting for them to react to. That is mental. That is absolutely mad. There are better pictures further down, but I thought a nice in-context picture of it. By itself, it might look a bit too ludicrous, but, you know, when you look at everything else around it, when you look at the sisters themselves, the Exorcist and the Immolator back there, It makes more sense than when you see it by itself, because it is properly mad. So let's get some up-close and personal pictures on the go. So these are the Battle Sisters themselves, and the first thing we're going to do is have a quick check for repeats, for similar poses. And there's some angles going on here that make some of them look a little more different than I think they actually are. There is a couple that... I was going to say there are a couple that look very much the same, but actually there are similar poses with small differences on quite a few of these models. The kind of overall stance might be similar, but either the arms are different or the robes are slightly different. It's things like the legs apart stance is obviously pretty popular here. We can see a good number of them have that stance, but due to the difference in the robes on some of them, just down to the folds, like how far the robe is folded over, whether it's folded over at all, little things like that are doing a bit to differentiate between the two. So on the surface of it, it's kind of easy to look at it and go, oh no, there's actually some just full-on repeated stuff here. I don't know that it's actually that simple. I think it's more subtle than that, in fairness. The kind of initial thing I thought was that there's a good 3 there that are repeated, but looking at them, they're actually not. They're actually not repeated. There are differences. They've used the cloak to, the robe to, I think, pretty good effect there, to kind of actually throw some little details in just to show the difference a bit. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. At a glance, I was like, but no, looking at it properly, taking it in, I mean, it does look good, though. It's just the kind of, like gothic splendour of 40k. This is kind of what you want if you really like that side of the universe, which, let's face it, most of us do. The crazy, relics and stuff going on, the horrible cherubim. The little cherubs are the worst. I hate them in a good and bad way. They're terrible, but I also quite like the fact that they exist. They're just creepy. They're creepy and weird, and frankly, they suit the Sisters of Battle especially very, very well. Okay, so there's also going to be the Dominions and the Celestians as well. Let's take a look at some of the closer ones here. So I quite like that bear head, actually. Yeah, no, I quite like that. It sort of maybe looks like the flamer backfired slightly, but you know what? Actually, it looks pretty battle hardened to me. That. Okay, so we've also got that. I mean, that is just a badass model. I don't care. There is nothing I dislike about that. That looks great. The rebreather mask. I feel like I actually feel like I prefer that to having a helmet, which is a big thing. That's a big thing. That does not happen often with me. That's like I'm very much in the camp of put your damn helmet on. There's no point wearing power armor if you haven't got a helmet. I don't care if you're trying to look fancy. Don't be an idiot. Also, I hate painting faces, and frankly, helmet's much easier. But that I really like. There's something just really badass about that. Oh no, I'm going to have to learn how to paint skin. Oh god. Yeah, no, nothing to complain about here. Absolutely nothing to complain about. I still love the design of the Sisters' helmets. They look really good. Okay, so these two at the bottom here are, I believe, the Celestians and the Dominions. Although, mind you, wasn't there more to differentiate them from the standard Sisters? Mind you, there wasn't really that much, was there? There's a fancy fleur-de-lis on the helmet there, and you've got the scope on the bolter, which makes a bit of difference, but that's something where I think I need to go back and look at the older models to properly examine the difference. But still, standalone, I quite like that. Yep, no, I'm happy. I'm happy so far. There's not really anything to complain about. So there's also the Dialogus and the Hospitaller, and a reimagined Imagifier. So we've already seen the Hospitaller. It still looks more priest than medic to me, but I still do quite like it. Although I've kind of gone off the birds now. I think I've gone off the birds a bit. The rest of it I really like, and the actual robes and silhouette is a really good nod to the existing Hospitaller. Kind of gone off the doves with the parchments a bit, but if you don't want those on there, it would not take much to not put them on. That is absolutely mental. Wow. Yeah. Again, very over the top. Very over the top. Very... I mean, that to me just feels very grim dark in the best way. Have you got enough books there, love, for a start? You've got a scroll in one hand, a parchment facing out from the little floating pulpit, another parchment on the pulpit. There's a book being supported on the power pack. Looks very nun as well. Very, very battle nun. Excessively battle nun, I think I might say. Not sure about the head, but to be honest, it's very over the top, but I like the rest of it a lot. Yeah, I do quite like that. And that is the most ostentatious, over the top, and extremely, I would say, top heavy thing to be carrying into battle ever. She must be absolutely, ripped. Do not arm wrestle this particular Sister of Battle. She will snap your arm out of the socket. You would have to. Look how... If that's like marble, don't even go near her. Just a backhand will take your entire head off. I'm not sure I'd go for the hood. I get what they were going for, but it kind of looks like she just can't see where she's going, which I'm not entirely sure I like. But for how crazy that is, I'm liking it. I am liking it a lot. God knows how you fit that in a transport, though. Look, can we open the top hatch on the Rhino, and I'll just stick it out the top, because there's no way we're getting in otherwise. There's just no way. You'd keep telling me to leave it behind, but we need it. It's important. You realise that you fight better when you stood next to this, right? Yeah, look, I know, it's pointy, but still, bear with me. Do you know how many times do you know how many deadlifts I've done? Do you know how many just how many weights have been worked to be able to carry this thing. Let me bring it. Let me stick it out of the roof in the Rhino and it'd be fine. Bit less protection, yeah, but you'll thank me later. What an absolutely... It's so massive. It's so absurdly big. Oh my god, it's actually making me cough. Yeah, I mean, as Sisters of Battle stuff goes, you cannot say that is not, fulfilling the gothic approach that has been lost with some of the more recent Primaris releases. Back in full force here, I think it's fair to say. We also have a multi-part Canoness. Now, I don't care what you say, I love this. I'm not going to change my mind. This is perfect. I'm laying it out, I don't give a shit. This is perfect. There's a good number of weapon options. There is a good number of different heads. It fixes all of the problems that I have with the other Canoness that you get in the box. I mean, it doesn't have the big collar, which I don't like, and I would remove, and will remove. It doesn't have the dangly things down the front. It still maintains the same, similar lines in terms of the vestments that she's got on, but there's multiple weapons options for both melee and ranged. There's a bunch of different heads as well. And the combination of the fleur-de-lis and the Iron Halo as well means that you've got a nice combination of stuff here. Also, every one of those heads looks like it naturally fits into that armour, which is great, especially the hooded one. I'm genuinely impressed with the hooded one, because it would be easy to make it look like it didn't fit. It would be easy for it to look like it's just a stick-on part, but that looks fully integrated into the armour itself. They've done a cracking job with that. In terms of the heads that I would go for, at first I was like, well, it's got a helmet, I'm set, I'm sorted, that's all I want, give me the helmet, fine. Actually, no. You know what? I would go for the hooded head. It's been done so well. There's enough of the face showing. There's a bit of the signature hair there. You've got the bionic eye coming out as well. Yeah, I mean, that configuration that's in, the only thing I would change would be to switch out the fleur-de-lis for an Iron Halo. That's all I'd do. I actually like that model as is with that hooded head. That looks absolutely grand. That is perfect. There is nothing else I would do to that at all. I would not want to change anything else about that. That to me is the mark of something they've got completely right, because I will tinker with literally anything. Even if I like it to an absurd extent, I will still mess with it because I can't help myself. I wouldn't mess with that. I actually wouldn't. I would just leave it. Helmeted head, that massive brazier thing, an Iron Halo, whatever ranged option I felt like. To be honest, the bolter with the... I forget the name of it. You know which one I mean. The one with the crossbow on the top. It's not a crossbow. I can't remember the name of it. But I would give her that instead of the plasma pistol, probably, just because it looks cool. That's it. No other reason. Yeah, that is exactly what I want. Super happy with that. And finally, dear God, what the hell is this? I can't even talk. It's that mad. So, the heroes of the Sisters of Battle aren't just living saints like Celestine. Among their number of story commanders as legendary as any Space Marine captain, as it should be. And this is Junith Eruta? Who knows? Junith, that's fine. A Canoness Superior of the Order of Our Martyred Lady, with a centerpiece kit so magnificent it rivals any model in the Warhammer 40,000 range. Yes, it does. Yes, that is a giant floating pulpit with a two-headed eagle on the front, with what looks like two heavy flamers on the bottom, being supported by skeletons, and a very stern Tilda Swinton-looking woman standing in it. I presume casting judgment in extremely fire-based ways, if the massive braziers, and the fact that her backpack exhaust also had braziers, is anything to go by. That is a crazy model. That is mental. What on earth? I love it. I don't care. Again, I don't care. That's mad. I don't care that it's over the top and mad, though. I just love it. I can't even explain to you why. I'm not even going to attempt to explain to you why. This is one of those things where you look at it and you go, you either like it or you don't like it. I'm in the like it camp, and I will not be able to explain to the people who don't why I like it so much. I just know I need to have one, and I will only be happy when I do, because that's what the hell. Now, the only thing I'd change would be the head, to be honest. That's the only thing I'd change. I like everything else. I mean, there's some detail on here, like the names on the steps. I really like the fact that the braziers are being held by statues of Sisters of Battle. Amazing. And the actual eagle itself looks quality. The head, I would not keep. I would replace the head with something else. I mean, we've seen there's multiple head options for the Canoness, the multi-part one. So I would most likely, whichever of the two I didn't use for that, I would use on this. That being said, there will be a bunch of heads left over from the other boxes because all the sisters come with a bunch of different options for heads. So you will most likely have something lying around. If you don't want Tilda Swinton leading your army, then you'll be able to switch it out for something else. But to be honest, that being the only thing I'd change, again, I'm liking it a lot. I'm liking it a hell of a lot. So yeah, and as they say, haven't even begun to look at Retributor's Zephyrim or the Battle Sanctum or the other data sheets yet. So there is yet more to come. Super curious about the Battle Sanctum. I'm assuming the Battle Sanctum will be scenery. I was going to say a tank, but I didn't mean a tank. Rather than it being a tank, or something like that, I'm assuming it'll be scenery, but we'll see. We'll see. It'd be fun if they did get their own, like, super heavy of some kind, but time will tell. We'll just have to wait for it. It's so mad, but I like it so much. I will say, out of everything, though, the old multi-part Canoness here, I think it's got to be my favourite. My favourite still. It's just such a good model. Such a good model. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm super happy with all of that. That all looks great. Nothing to complain about, really. Well, I say nothing to complain about. There's always something that you would change, but that's not necessarily a complaint. It's more a personal preference thing. Yeah, I'm liking this stuff. Oh, man. If I wasn't already excited enough about this, it's just getting worse now. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think of all of this stuff in the comments down below. Whether you agree, disagree, if there's anything that stands out to you as being particularly awesome or exciting. What do you think about the giant mad pulpit? I'll be interested to hear what you think about that, actually, because I bet that's going to be polarising. Let me know what you think. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games. Nice way to support the channel, because you're going to buy the plastic crack anyway. If you go there, you get between 50 and 25% off. I get something for sending you that way, and 10% of everything you spend goes to charity at the end of the month. So, a nice thing you can do if you would like to. It is totally up to you. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Toodaloo.